So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay empowered for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. of art. I'm never gonna look back, cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change, slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
All right, y'all. Happy Friday, June 27th. Q2 for the movie industry is almost done. Get your movies in, ladies and gentlemen. We saw F1 yesterday. Great movie, maybe my favorite so far this year. I kind of felt like I was watching Top Gun Maverick, except in a Formula One race car. And if you saw my tweet, I really liked the soundtrack to the entire movie. Felt like you were in a nightclub watching that movie. It's a long movie, 2.5 hours. So plan accordingly. And tonight we're going to see Megan 2.0, doing my part to get movies in before this Q2 is over. I don't know that I have any other plans to see other movies after these two, but there are a lot of good movies coming in July. And literally every trailer before F1 yesterday was, I'm pretty critical of trailers. Every trailer I saw before F1, I was like, I'm seeing that movie. I want to see that one. I want to see that one. They all look good. So I think we got some exciting stuff to look forward to. And we're going to talk about some of the scam tickers, which were great momentum trades in just a minute. While I'm waiting a few minutes for folks to come in. So I'm filling this first 5 minutes with idle movie chat. Let me know in the chat if you saw F1 or Megan and you're planning on seeing it this weekend. Coming up next weekend, I think we have Jurassic Park, what's it called? Rebirth or something. And it looks like that one's going to do pretty well on opening weekend. I'm seeing numbers over 100 million, although I have seen some squirrely early reviews. I'm going to go see it either way. I've always liked that franchise. And then we have Superman coming up. And again, same thing. I think that the movie's going to do fantastic. There's a lot of haters for this Superman movie, but I think that the fans will show up and it'll do just fine. Alfredo, good evening. Who else we got in here? Tito, Michael, Dink, what's going on? He says, Lunar's fueling up. Sparky, what's going on? Cheers, cheers. I got my water here. We are in the last, I got 28, 29, 3-day push to finish June on my weight loss program, Sparky. So still no drinking. And unfortunately, box office is not going to, I had a goal if I was going to drink a whole bottle of champagne the first week of July with you guys if domestic box office got over 3 billion, and that ain't going to happen. So we're sticking to water, ladies and gentlemen. Sticking to water. And I'll update you on the fitness progress if you care about that. I know most of you don't, but on or about the 1st or 2nd after I do my weigh-in. Yes, carnivore. I'm doing, for the last 10 days of this month, Sparky, I'm being extra diligent. Just protein and fat. And it's tough, especially when you have a hard workout, not to eat some carbs, because they do help with refueling and recovery. And I've added a few in the beginning part of the month, but I'm trying to tighten it up here as we finish out the month. Greg, how you doing? I'll have a drink for you. Yes, thank you. All of y'all, please pop a cold one for me. Pour one out in my honor. I appreciate it. I can't wait to join you again. I need to hit one of my targets, either the body fat percentage or the body weight percentage. And we're getting close. We're in striking distance. All right. Tickers. Before we move into talking about the scam tickers of the week, let's talk about the ones that we actually, I think most of my audience likes. And there's no reason not to like the scam tickers either. They were fantastic momentum trades. I would never tell you don't invest in a ticker that's running. My message is always understand the filings, understand the company's motivations so that you can have a reasonable exit, and don't listen to these knuckleheads on social media telling you that a stock with 4% short interest has the naked short scared, because that is people just lying to you. And the CEOs and the CFOs, hey, they lean into that because they want to sell shares. And it's just a matter of time. You can trade these. You can make a ton of money trading them, and please do. But take a reasonable exit. Don't be waking up one morning saying, wow, nobody saw that coming. Yes, we all saw the dilution coming, except you. Where were you? You were listening to some guy whose name rhymes with Sham, the short killer, telling you about naked shorts when there are none. It's just FOMO momentum push up on low float stocks. But before we talk more about those, that's my little prelogue. I just want to, let y'all know nobody pays me. I saw a guy do a 1 hour live stream yesterday, or was it today, showing how he was using me as a character in his story of shorting a stock for $300,000. First of all, I've never shorted a stock in my life. Just like you guys, I don't like shorts. I don't like shorts. Just because I talk about the filings of a company, that's company documents, does not mean that I'm advocating a short position. You don't like the company documents, blame the companies. I don't short stocks, period. Hard stop. Never in my life, ever. If I ever do, I'll let you know. And nobody pays me for any opinions or commentary or analysis on this channel. Never have. And I won't say never will. I'm always open to a good payday, but I will properly disclose it as required by SEC regulations. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to talk about a stock that someone's paying me for and not tell you about it. That is illegal. And, if I ever get called into the SEC, I have nothing to hide, nothing to fear. Nobody has ever paid me for any opinion, positive or negative, on any ticker ever. All right. Are we clear? Are we clear? Because it's about to get real in here when we talk about some of these tickers. And I know some of y'all are going to get mad, but I really do care about you. I want to see you trade these momentum stocks and come back in a few days and say, Tony, thanks to you, I locked in 50%. I locked in 75%. I locked in 100% in a day. And I got out before that dilution announcement happened the next day. We can pretty much call them. I am the number 2 rated short squeeze specialist. You know that, right? According to the folks on my Discord. So, we do have a certain set of tools that we use to predict what is likely to happen. And rarely are we wrong. Sometimes the timing takes a little longer than we anticipated. But ultimately, the answer is always the same. Shitty stocks, no money, declining cash balance, no revenue, minimal revenue, going concern warnings, all sorts of dilution risk disclosed in the 10Qs and 10Ks. And then surprise, they dilute into a run-up. They couldn't telegraph it better but you guys don't want to read, some of y'all. Some of y'all are getting good at reading, and I see you out there. Good job. Michael says, can we take a look at Clove? Yeah, if we have time, absolutely. What are my thoughts on yield max ETFs like Misty? I was talking to the Crypto Cowboy. Do y'all remember him? The MSTY is the one that pays a dividend, right? GTR. I was talking to the Crypto Cowboy, and I'm pretty sure he told me he's been leaning into MSTY. I have not, but I've been looking at it. And he tells me, and I have no reason to disbelieve him because I know him in real life, and he's an honorable person. He's making $18,000 a month off of dividends on that ticker. Now, while that is impressive, I want you to know, if you watched his wild live stream with me a year ago, this dude is all in on Bitcoin and MSTR and any derivative product of it. He's been a longtime believer. He was buying when it was cheap for years. So that's what dedication and being right can get you. $18,000 a month in dividends off of MSTY. Cheers to you, sir. To the Crypto Cowboy. All right, before we get into these other tickers, though, let's just take a quick look at our two biggest meme stocks. One of them I own, one of them I don't. GME is the one that I own. And you can see I got out back in May when it ran up to 35.81. I got out at 33. Didn't time the top perfectly, but I had gotten in at 21 bucks, and I just like I tell you guys, watch the chart, understand what the company is likely to do. I took my exit, and then boom, Ryan, announces convertible bonds, and then he does it again, boom. And when he did that again, and we got down close to this demand zone, that is where I bought again. I bought GameStop again at 21.61. Come on, move up there on June 12th. So I'm riding with Ryan again. I see a lot of ridiculous narratives on social media talking about OBV, and they draw these stupid little Dorito chips on the chart, and they're talking about the short interest increasing from 19 million to 79 million, 29 million to 79 million, whatever. I mean, yes, the short interest is up. Hello, look at all the convertible bonds that were issued. We've talked ad nauseum about convertible bond hedging and that they will short shares to delta hedge their bonds. And if the price goes up, you should expect to see the short interest go up. And no, none of them are scared. That is the ridiculous narrative on GameStop. There are no shorts scared about GameStop's price going up. If they are hedged properly, they're going to make money when the bonds increase in value. And their ultimate exit, if they needed to, was they will convert their bonds into shares, which they can use to what? Clear out their short position. If it goes up and then comes back down and they were shorting it all the way up, guess what? They would love that too. Because if it goes up and they're increasing their short and then it drops back down like a rejection off this supply zone, now they're making money on their short. These guys can't lose. Wake up to what they're doing. GameStop is not being driven by retail traders anymore. You got big boys moving this stock with billions of dollars on the line. You can forget about us having control of GameStop. You could pray for Roaring Kitty to come back. I pray for that every day too. I mean, look, I'm in at 21 bucks. I'd love to sell at 60 again. Come on, Roaring Kitty, where you at? But this is not the same GameStop it was a year ago. And all the GameStop YouTubers are stuck on the saying, oh, look at the OBV. It's never been this low. And look, we had a dip here and then it ran a dip here. You can't. It's not the same play. Not even close. Not the same players, not the same company. And there's nothing wrong with GameStop. It's got a fair value, which we can calculate, that is well below the current price. And then it's got a premium on top of that for speculation on what we think, why I'm in GameStop. We think Ryan Cohen is going to do something intelligent with the cash. I know not everybody watching me right now thinks that he will. Some of y'all don't like GameStop. You can have your opinion. I don't care. I call GameStop a speculative trade when it's above fair value. Fair value's around 13, 14 bucks. That's not my price target, or I wouldn't have bought it 21. All y'all GameStop YouTubers, just stop right there. Fair value is not my price target. I just freaking bought the thing at 21 bucks. But it is what we can calculate off of current and expected earnings for the year. That's how we get a fair value. Anything above what you can calculate off of earnings is speculative kicker on top of fair value. And that nothing wrong with that. But all these people want to talk to you about, oh, I'm a fundamentals guy on GameStop, and they will not do a earnings analysis with you unless they say that GameStop deserves a 50 or 100 PE ratio. Absolute horseshit. It does not deserve a 50 or 100 PE ratio because right now there's no expectation that it's going to grow at 2, 3, 5x other companies. When they start demonstrating that, maybe they deserve a higher PE ratio, but you can't just say it and wish it so. I mean, go back and read your book. What's that book called? The Notebook? Wishing something doesn't make it happen. Ryan needs to communicate a strategy. Management needs to tell us what the plan is, or we need to see some announcement. Then maybe we start getting a higher valuation based on expectations we can count on. Right now, everybody's just out there guessing their thing. Nothing wrong with that, but I want to see you guys be smart traders. I'm along for the ride as long as it's hanging out here. It could hang out here in the 21, 23 for a year, and I'd be cool with hanging on to my position while Ryan figures out what he's going to do with $9 billion. That is a powder keg of potential, but there is no premium assigned to cash. That was the other thing I was going to say about GameStop. People on Twitter, GameStop, 9 billion cash, 10 billion market cap. What is the market not seeing? They're not seeing the fiction narrative that you're trying to create. Nobody looks at just cash compared to market cap. Hello. We have this thing in finance called net cash, which is cash equivalents, and short-term investments minus debt. And a guy on Twitter today was arguing with me, the convertibles aren't debt. Tony Denaro. Like, I don't know. I mean, some of these people just want to live in cuckoo land. I don't know if they're Bed Bath & Beyond investors, like with their alternate reality about how finance works, but convertible bonds are debt, and you do need to subtract them from cash to get a net debt. So nobody that cares, nobody that's deciding the price cares that GameStop has 9 billion cash that's not being used, and the market cap is 10 billion. Nobody cares. When will they care? When Ryan puts the cash to use. I want you to go on stockanalysis.com, pull up GameStop and a couple of other high-flying tickers, and look at the statistics page. Look at ROA, return on assets. Look at ROIC, return on invested capital. Look at ROE, return on equity. For GameStop, they're anemic. They're non-existent. And you look at a company with a 50 or higher PE ratio, they are through the roof because those companies are utilizing their cash to generate returns for investors. And people will pay for that. And that day may come for GameStop, and I sure hope it does. But if you're trying to will that into existence by saying it out loud, you are living in a dream world until the company announces it. And if you want to speculate on that, like I am, that Ryan will do something, we got no problems, you and me, because I'm doing the same thing. But I'm not going to sit here every day and tell you that it's worth a 50 or 100 PE ratio. That is someone lying to you. Maybe it will be one day, but you need some return on the cash. And 4% return from money sitting in treasuries is not it, my friends. So I'm going to ride with Ryan until I hear good or bad news. And I'm obviously betting on good news. There's a lot of people that don't think he's a good manager. I happen to think he's done a great job. So that's my little spiel on GameStop, and maybe I'll clip that out and make it into a 2-minute video tomorrow. Because oh man, I've been just having to sit back with my hands tied behind my back and my lips sewn shut because these people make me so mad, lying to people. GameStop people lying. AMC. Speaking of our other meme stocks, I do not own any AMC, as you guys know. I own a little bit of Dolby. Last year I traded Marcus, MCS, and IMAX. They were both 100% gainers last year for me. Exited those as they moved up. I rolled into this year Cinemark and Dolby, DLB. And I am ready to move into AMC, but as you know, I'm waiting for two things left on my list. I don't hate AMC, but there are 2 risk factors that are keeping me out of the trade since November. I've not been in the trade. I want to know what they're going to do about being out of shares. And I expect we'll find some answer to that in the upcoming proxy statement. And I want to know the outcome of this bondholder lawsuit. Like, what's the settlement going to be? What's it going to cost the company, if anything? So those are the 2 like little sticking points before I start trading AMC. But in the meantime, the only place we go to movies, and I'm still a A-lister, and we're supporting AMC in the industry as best I can, but I got to be a good steward of my investment, and I don't want to be riding AMC at $3 and watch it get run down to $1.50 on some dumb corporate action. So maybe that'll happen, maybe it won't, but I can manage my risk, right? You do whatever you want. Don't matter to me how you trade your stocks. I saw someone asking about Highcroft. Let's look at that one. I did buy some Highcroft, by the way. And it is coming back down. I bought it after the dilution announcement, which I had been telling y'all for a year that was coming. They took a long time. That's one of those ones where I could tell it was coming from the financial statements, and the numbers were inevitable that they were going to need to dilute. I started calling that one a year ago, but they waited all the way until the very last moment. They were down to their last 12 months of cash, so they diluted in June. It got tanked down here, and I bought at, what's it say, 303. So, and it's at 309. I mean, I thought about taking an exit here at 350, but I always try and have a plan in my head when I buy, and my plan was don't sell before 360, and it didn't quite hit it. So I'm okay with 303. If it drops to 270, I'll buy a little more. We have some potentially bullish stuff coming from Highcroft at the end of this year. Maybe it's speculative, but they are supposed to be publishing that TRS. So I don't know what's going to happen in the months between now and then. I'd like to see gold and silver prices push up. That'll help us if we're holding Highcroft. I have a very small position. This is a speculative stock because they have no revenue. But I'm just trying to play a little momentum trade here, and it got cheap enough. And the main thing I was waiting on Highcroft was to get the dilution out of the way. And they did it. It was an overnight dilution. It's not one of these ATMs that takes months and months. The funny thing is, what's his name? Eric Sprott bought a bunch of this new dilution. And then it looks like he immediately flipped and loaned it out. You guys saw the Highcroft shares available to borrow went up like 6 or 7 million shares right after Eric Sprott invested in the company. I would bet you that he turned on share lending for his shares. And why not? Why not make an extra 4% while you're waiting for it to pay out? Why not? Eric Sprott's a smart man. I would bet you Ryan Cohen's doing the same thing. What do you think? You think Ryan Cohen's lending out his shares? Am I allowed to say that? All right. Let's talk about GNS real quick. No, let's talk about Quantum first. Quantum Biopharma, a beautiful run-up from... I do not own any Quantum, by the way. So all the haters, just shut up. In March, it was at $4. It ran to $38. And we were expecting, for same reasons as all of these companies, they would do some dilution or warrants being cashed out into any run up. They hired Kevin Malone to promote the stock. It's a very low float, 2.5 million free float, 2.9 million shares outstanding. Until today, guess what happened? Did you see it? Did you see that dilution notice today that they slipped out? I bet that's what happened right here, ladies and gentlemen. Ding, 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 ding. All of us that were expecting dilution were not surprised by this big red bar, which is why I tell you guys when it makes sense to you, take some of your money off the table and try not to be FOMOing in at the top of these runs. Quantum released a filing today after the market closed saying that they sold 12 shares to their 2 executives, Class A. Now, what you might not know about Quantum is what you see here on the screen is Class B shares. Okay, that's interesting. Have you dug into it? Did you even know that? Do you understand the difference? Class B here that people are buying, people are filling out 13Ds saying, I own 19% of the float. Nobody cares, bro, because you don't control the votes. And here's what I'm about to explain to you. These 2 executives at Quantum own 24 Class A shares now. 4. They owned 12. Today they announced for the total price of $600, they doubled their ownership in Class A, $50 a piece. Each one of those shares has like 277,000 votes. So between these 2 gentlemen, they now have voting rights for close to 7 million shares. You can go look up my tweet on it if you want the exact details and the exact link to the document, the filing. Class B is not going to decide anything in Quantum. You don't own anything. You own a minority stake in a company that's controlled by 2 people. That's what you're going to bet your life on? Good luck. Who do you think those 2 people are watching out for? Themselves. So while it has been a fantastic low float stock with high cost to borrow, because there's only a few shares out there of these Class B and people have been buying in them and holding them, clearly there's no options chain. It's a perfect setup for a low volume or a low float FOMO pump. And that's exactly what Kevin was hired to do. That's how he was compensated, to help get the price up there so they could open up the, you probably saw his little contract, how he's getting tiered out pay levels depending on how much dilution potential he opens up for the company. Like, read between the lines here, people. Quantum also says they're going to now issue a special dividend. Special dividend from Quantum. If they win their lawsuit against the naked shorters, you're going to get a payout. Oddly enough for me, and I haven't figured this out. If you have figured it out, let me know. I just read the filings. Your markets and charts frighten and confuse me. I'm just a caveman that reads filings. And here's what I know. This company, Quantum, signed away their rights to any gains from a settlement in their market manipulation lawsuit to a company called Sportsco LLC for the price of $1 million. So how are they going to pay you a dividend on a market manipulation lawsuit when they already signed away any winnings in that lawsuit to another company for an early payment of $1 million? Someone please explain this to me. Maybe I'm just dumb. Michael says, Tony, why is quantum up and the company hasn't made any profits? Because it's being pumped. It's a low float pump. I'll call them shills. You know what a shill is, right? They're people that hype up information that is not factual to promote a stock. These shill accounts that are pushing naked shorts are all pushing quantum, and it's got people excited. And then you get momentum, and then the momentum traders jump on. I have no problem with any of that. Hey, people pushing stocks as part of the market. Momentum traders coming in as part of the market. What I have a problem with is people lying, saying that the shorts are scared. There's no shorts in quantum. Look at the short interest. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4%, something horribly low. It's just a made up narrative, but the higher it goes, the more interested they get. And they will try and establish a position, even if it costs them 400%, because they know, just like I know, like I keep on telling you guys, that these companies are going to dilute. How do they know that? They read the filings. So whether it was selling shares or warrants being cashed in and then sold, you cash in your warrant, get your shares, and then sell them. That's how you get these big red bars. And the share count for quantum went up, ladies and gentlemen, according to today's filing, which you can find a link to in my Twitter feed, went up by 17.7%. So it is no longer 2.9 million shares outstanding. It's like 3.4 million. And I'm here to tell you right now, that is not the end of that. There will be more dilution coming in this ticker. So no problem with anyone playing it. I'm happy if you did, and happy if you locked in some gains. Beautifully done. If you're thinking you're just going to buy the dip and wait till it goes to $500, this company is waiting for the price to run up so they can dilute. And if the company is not, there are millions of warrant holders that are waiting for it. Same play every time. It's either convertibles, warrants, or the company itself. Someone is going to get paid if you push the price up. So push it up, get your profits before they do. Be smart. Kevin says, would you prefer payment for order flow or paying a commission? Oh man, that's a tough one, Kevin. I grew up paying commission. I grew up as a brokey. I mean, when I started my corporate career, I was making not minimum wage. I was making like $12, $13 an hour. And we had to pay commissions. We even had to phone in our fucking orders. Every single one. And yeah, it's not fun, especially if you're trying to trade options. There's a lot to be said good for commission-free trading, but there is a downside in that it opens up the door for people to trade that might not be able to do it otherwise, and you don't have this hurdle of a commission to get over if you're trying to make small trades and build up your account. But there's a trade-off for that. Nothing is for free, so if you're not paying a commission, then your data is going to be sold to somebody. I don't know. I mean, if I said get rid of payment for order flow and it knocked 30% of you out of the market because you can't afford to pay commissions on every trade, was that a win? What do you think? Is that a win? Or would you rather have options? I mean, would you rather have choices? Like, you can use a big boy broker like Fidelity and not route to a payment for order flow. You can tell them to route your order to XNYS or NYSE or NASDAQ. But you have to follow the right steps. And you have to direct that trade yourself. JP says, when are you gonna open a position in Mullen? Hang on, let me check the vibrations of Mullen. Zone of strength. I keep on trying to read the chart, but the chart keeps on falling. I don't. These naked shorters. The only one naked shorting Mullen is the company itself, and its toxic debt, toxic lenders, toxic warrants, toxic daily dilution. There's some good Twitter accounts. I don't follow Mullen super closely, but there are people that follow it every day. And I think it says here 2.8 million. I think the outstanding share count is now like actually 7 million on Mullen, something ridiculous like that. The 5, 6, 7. This company is selling out from under you every other day. Any of y'all are trying to play the chart on Mullen are very foolish, in my opinion. And there's people that have 5-hour live streams trying to predict how Mullen's going to run. Like, you can't outrun a company that has no revenue and is actively diluting you before they file bankruptcy. You can't outrun that on a chart. You might have a lucky couple hours one morning where they turn off the dilution button for a couple hours and it gets a little candle like this or like this, but then they just turn it right back on. They're reeling in suckers. And they turn it right back on. Mullen's 7th reverse split coming up. Stay away from this piece of trash and stay away from anybody pushing it. It's all ridiculous. People try and read a chart, but they won't read a filing. They won't read a debt document, a warrant document. They won't read a balance sheet or an income statement, but they'll try and read the chart. Ridiculous. All right, last one, and then I'll take some questions. GNS, our favorite buddy, Roger Hamilton. I've been following GNS for 2-3 years now, you guys. Remember back in 2022? $133 fell all the way down to 21 cents. Why do you think that is? Is it because of naked shorts? Any guesses? Could it be anything to do with their revenue? Could it be anything to do with their lack of cash, lack of revenue, lack of cash, drunken spending? Could it be anything to do with dilution? Let's take a look. Dilution Tracker is a great tool. I pay for it. But come on, why is my... Oh, I got to grab it up here. Here we see the dilution since 22 for Genius Group. Back then they had a float of 2 million shares. Now it's 72 million. Now you tell me why the price is going down. Did naked shorts force Roger Hamilton to sell 70 million shares and increase the float by 35x? No. How much cash do they have left, according to Dilution Tracker? Negative 4 months estimated, based on their quarterly cash burn and their estimated current cash. And they still have a open offering. And look at this, warrants, convertible notes. So the same shill accounts that are pushing the naked short nonsense on you guys to pump these stocks, probably because these poor guys, I mean, I feel bad for them, but they're probably holding up here at 40 or 60 bucks and they got run all the way down to 20. So if they can trick you into buying and get out at $1 instead of 20 cents, that's good for them. They're not going to get out. They're not going to get out. If their cost basis is 40 or 60, they're really hoping that it's going to run back up here, but that is not going to happen. Because what is going to happen is Roger Hamilton is going to dilute more. And you can mark this date on your calendar and come back in a year, and I can guarantee you that the float, the share count will be far more than 72 million. He hasn't shown me any evidence that he plans to increase company's revenue to a point of getting profitable. And even the one fake analyst report that was being floated around on Twitter today from Diamond Equity Capital, or whatever the heck their name is, I tweeted that out also. That is one analyst covering this company because no one covers penny stocks because they're trash. And that analyst was hired by Genius Group to publish the report. Diamond Equity is a analyst for hire firm. It's called sponsored analysis or sponsored reports. Those, I would say, I think it's fair to guess, come with a little bit of bias because they're hired by somebody to cover their company. This guy came out with a $4 price target for GNS in the next 12 months. Based on what? Earnings? Nope, didn't say that. He has them being negative earnings through 2027. What did he say justified a $4 price? Nothing. He said nothing. I believe in management. Dude, that's not how you come up with the price. That is smoke and mirrors. And all the freaking naked short shill accounts on Twitter couldn't wait to tell you about this $4 price target for GNS. It is smoke and mirrors. It might hit $4, but not because of anything that Roger Hamilton does, not because of earnings or any positive news at the company, just from FOMO people piling in. And the higher it goes up, the more tempted Roger is going to be to do his next dilutive event. So you are forewarned now. I'm not telling you don't trade it. Knock yourself out. But do not be surprised if you open your eyes after market close one day and there's another prospectus or another private placement. It's coming. I'm telling you right now, it's coming. Take your profits along the way, people. I want to see you happy, not crying for the next 3 years. VRO says, is Mullen selling out more than AMC? I mean, they both dilute a lot, VRO, but Mullen has toxic lending agreements. The more they dilute, the more they lower the price of these SPA agreements. And they're just selling shares to a financing firm for a discount. And then that financing firm sells them into the market every day because they just got them at a discount. Why wouldn't they sell them? And they can rinse and repeat and do the same thing the next day. It's the same thing that was going on with BBBY, which is, I told you the float was going to skyrocket on Bed Bath & Beyond. Nobody believed me. It went from 100 million to 700 million in a few months. Same shit that Mullen's doing. AMC does not have those type of toxic agreements. And AMC has growing revenue. Mullen has essentially no revenue. So yes, AMC is in a tough spot, but it's not anywhere near as bad as these other companies. I still do think there will be another dilution with AMC though, which is why I don't own it right now. Maybe I'll be wrong, and if I'm wrong, cool. I'll get back in. I got to know the answer to that. I'm looking at the financials. I'm looking at the box office. I think it's a greater than 50% probability. I can't tell you it's going to happen for sure, but it's enough that makes me nervous not to hold on to it right now. And that really hurts. Hurts not to hold my favorite stock, but I haven't owned it since November. All right, last one, maybe the last one. Maybe we have time for two more. I got about 15 minutes before our movie. If you didn't hear me in the beginning, we saw F1 yesterday. We're going to see Megan 2 tonight. Get in your movies before the 30th, please. Support the industry. They need you right now. I think, there's a good chance we'll end up now over 2.65 billion based on the numbers I'm seeing. I like that. I'd like it to be over 2.7. All right, what are we looking at on Clove, buddy? Clove. This was another Lou ticker back in the day, wasn't it? $28 down to 60 cents. And then it's had a good run since end of May. All right, let's see why. Hang on. While I'm pulling that up, you tell me what we're looking for here. Why is Clove moving? Did they have earnings in here? Let's see. They had earnings on May 9th. Why does it looks a lot better on the monthly than the daily. The daily looks like dog shit, doesn't it? All right, what am I supposed to be? This chart is not winning me over at first glance. It's not love at first sight. Come on. Analyst says 6 weeks ago, these stars are aligning for GAAP profitability in fiscal year 2026. All right. We got 3 analysts covering this. Who are they from? Canaccord, Trash, Craig Halem. Don't know anything about them. And we got Jonathan at UBS. But these two haven't updated since 2024. So, and the only one that's new is this trash company, Canaccord, in March with a 450 price target. I don't trust these people. I don't trust Canaccord. But let's see what they say down here. Revenue growing from 1.9 to 2.3 to 2.5 to 2.7. That'd be cool if that's factual. And earnings per share going to be negative until 2028. Not super exciting to me. I mean, you're doubling your revenue, and the analysts still can't predict a positive earnings per share. Look at this. 1.37 to 2.5 billion, revenue doubling, and you still can't get a prediction for a positive outcome. I think I can find better tickers to speculate on. Dan says you will enjoy Megan 2.0. My wife already made it known, Dan, that I started getting iffy about Megan 2.0. She's like, no, we're seeing this. I went to F1 with you. You got to go see Megan with me. All right. It doesn't look awful, and I've seen some good reviews for it, but it's not really hitting with audiences. I think they're predicting maybe a maximum of 15 million 3-day opening weekend. I'll be a few dollars of that. All right. So I'm not seeing a ton that I like here with Clove, but before we move on to the next ticker in our last couple minutes, let's just see what premium and annuity, what does this company do again? Provides Medicare Advantage plans. PPO and HMO. All right. Premium and annuity revenue growing. We like that. Operating income getting better. It's still negative, but they've made some big improvements since 2021. I like that. Net income, same basic trend. I mean, yeah, it looks like it's headed in the right direction. You'd have to convince me that you know better than the analysts who are not predicting a profitable year till 2028 why you're super bullish on it over other possible choices. I mean, I'm not trying to talk you out of Clove, but when I look at something, I say to myself, is this what I want to go with, or could I find something better? Total assets 583, total liabilities 247. Balance sheet looks okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not horrible. They're headed in the right direction, but those analysts' predictions got me a little bit concerned. Wasn't Clove a SPAC? I don't remember. I don't remember. All right. YOLO Ono says, what did you think of the end of 28 years later? Did you understand the tracksuits? No, Dan. It went right over my head. And because I didn't get it, I thought it was kind of silly, but I'm only blame myself for not understanding. Can you give us a hint? I mean, the movie itself blew me away until the ending. And then I was like, what the fuck was this shit? I knew in the beginning when we saw that little boy and he escaped, that at some point we would see him again. And we did see him again at the last scene, all grown up. But I didn't get it. There will be another follow-on, though, right? That explains more. But yeah, if you want to clue me in, or maybe I should Google it. Sparky says, don't be fooled by utilization on borrows. If the rate goes up, more shares will come out to lend. Yeah, we've seen that a lot, right, Sparky? There's always this bottomless pit of institutions that they're not willing to lend their shares until the rate goes up. All of a sudden, they're like, here you go. Yeah, we'll take that 8%. We'll take that 12%. We'll take that 90%. Sure. All right, Dan says it's a lot darker than I think, the ending. We're not going to have time for it tonight in this live stream, Dan, but you can drop me some hints in the Discord, please. In the movie review section of our Discord would be great. All right, last ticker. I see a bunch. What do I think of NVIDIA? I have friends that are in management at NVIDIA. And they say, make your money while you can. That's all I'm going to say. VRO. That's coming from people that I've known in the industry. You know, I was in the industry 15 years in my corporate life. They say it's a bit of a mess, but they like the CEO and the company's hitting on all 8 cylinders, but they basically said, I'm going to make my money while I can from those sweet, sweet bonuses and options, whatever else they get. ESPP. There's a couple of these other meme stock tickers. The people that really hate me because I talk about Nixie and Finger and G-Bucks and RLAIF. They don't like it that I point out anything from the company filings. They get really pissy. Oh, you're reading a company filing, you must be a short. No, I'm an investor with a brain, dumbass. And I use my brain to read things that the company wants me to know. Now, you might not want to talk about them on your channel, sir, because you need people to buy these pieces of dog shit. But I'm going to read what the company disclosed to investors. And if there's something you're not talking about, I might talk about it. That's not me being short. That's me reading a filing because you are not. Do your job when you cover the ticker. I won't need to. Finger motion, you know, company has a great CEO, Martin Shin. He's been very clear in interviews and filings that he's going to keep raising money. More dilution coming. Somehow, the fact that I say that too makes me a short. Hello, the CEO says it all the time. And he said it again in the past week on another interview. So it's a great momentum trade, but there's going to be more dilution. The company needs it to grow. That's what they're in the secondary market for. Why they went public. Someone was talking about Terem Pizer. I don't even know if Terem Pizer's Aquitas is still invested in Finger or not. Look, that's old news. That's been since 2022. I'm not looking at that. I don't care. I'm looking at what is the CEO saying he's going to do. He's saying he's going to raise more money. That's all I need to know. If I'm going to trade Finger, get in cheap, sell when it moves up. Do not listen to people telling you $500 price targets. G-Bucks is another one. Company with an annual income of about $19,000. These people are telling you this stock's going to $500. G-Bucks. $19,000 in income in a year. Something ridiculously low like that. Shorts are scared. No. This company has announced a bunch of acquisitions, then reneged on every single deal. They announced another one with some gold company, which if it goes through, it's going to be massive dilution, most likely, because they have no cash. How are you going to acquire someone with no cash? With shares. With shares. So you're trying to hold G-Bucks, and you're wondering why the shorts aren't scared about the special dividend with a $4 strike price. Look, if that deal goes through, you're probably going to be heavily diluted. And RLAIF, it got the same freaking situation. I actually published a nice tweet about RLAIF this week. I said it's looking really good as it pushes up into this supply zone. Could get interesting if it can break through. But so that's my positive. If it breaks through, could keep going. But the most likely outcome is it's going to get pushed back down. There is one interesting little thing with RLAIF. They announced an acquisition with a much bigger company, also in the AI sector. Back in February, a memorandum of understanding was published or disclosed that will eventually lead to a LOI, a letter of intent, which at some point, maybe when the LOI is published, we'll know what the details of this acquisition are. But I'm going to give y'all a sneak preview since you hanging out with me here on a Friday night. Here's what I think is happening. This other company, AIP, this company that is bigger with revenue, that is private, that is run by private equity people, wants access to a publicly traded ticker. RLAIF is publicly traded. It's OTC, yeah. But imagine you can do a reverse merger and get access to public funding. For AIP, I think that'd be a good deal. How it works out for current shareholders of RLAIF, that's my big question. I have other questions too. I've reached out to the CFO of this company. I've reached out to investor relations. They don't want to talk to me. I'm asking basic investor questions. Why are you saying since 2023 that your products are turned on for revenue, yet for 2 years you've booked no revenue? I'm going to do a video with video evidence of the CEO on interviews and filings and press releases saying all of these products are now available for revenue, yet for some reason 2 years have gone by and they've shown zero revenue. And you wonder why I pick on the YouTubers who pump these stocks. There's a lot of squirrely things going on here. But, of the bunch, if this AIP merger goes through, acquisition, I don't even know if it's an acquisition. I think it's going to be a reverse merger. Could be an interesting play. And we've been talking about it for weeks, this ticker in the Discord. Even though I don't talk about it, I don't make videos, I don't try and stop runs on these. I will tweet out little thoughts here and there. But where we talk about them is in the Discord, and we dissect them and we debate. Look, if there's an opportunity in any of these, I'm going to take it. But I will do my due diligence for weeks if I have to. I'm not going to let some guy bully me on YouTube telling me this guy was telling people today, if you don't take out a loan and go buy RLAIF, you're going to regret it. I'd go take out a loan myself, but I lost everything, lost my house, lost all my possessions. I have no credit. How did you do that, sir? Was it because you have a 3-year history of betting on shitty stocks? Yes, that is why. So you're going to then tell people they should take out a loan on this company with no revenue? What the fucking hell? What is wrong with people on YouTube? He spent an hour berating one of his viewers because the guy only had 5% of his portfolio in RLAIF. The guy berated him, made him feel like a piece of shit for 1 hour because he wouldn't load up his portfolio 100% into a company that has no revenue. Oh man, you wonder why I get mad at some of these people. And then they, worse, they'll spend 5 hours saying that I'm shorting the company, which, like, hello, read any of my video intros. I don't short, and nobody pays me. Corex, what's up? I wish I could hang out with you guys and keep on my little rant against these stupid naked short pumpers and these shitty little penny stocks, which you can you can look up the short interest. I mean, we got Flim Flam Short Killer on Twitter telling you G-Bucks is going to $500. I looked up the short interest on their 100 million float. It's 2,000 shares on a 100 million float. I mean, these guys have no problem lying to you. And if you dare check their data, they'll tell you, well, you just don't believe then. You don't believe in our fairy tale. So you're short. You're right. I want to see evidence. All I've seen is you lead people into the poorhouse on ticker after ticker after ticker after ticker for years. And you never find one ticker that is profitable, that is growing. You only find tickers where the company desperately needs to raise cash. I wonder why that is. Could they be paying for promotion? I don't know. I'm going to leave y'all with that. I got to go see a movie with the wife, and we will catch up tomorrow.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for the I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins. Won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. Storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for it, coming for it. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet, lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes.